आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Yesterday we saw the difference between bhoga ayatanam and bhoga sadhanam. Bhoga ayatanam is the container for the experiences and bhoga sadhanam is the karana or the means through which something is experienced. In other words, the physical body is the place of bhoga, but it's not enough to have a place where the bhoga happens. How can the bhoga happen if the karana or the instruments of the bhoga are not there? And so we need a place where it happens, and we need a location for the bhoga, and the location for the bhoga is what? Physical body. And then we also need what? The karana, the instruments of the bhoga. The instruments of the bhoga is the ways in which this bhoga is experienced. So the means of experience of the bhoga is bhoga sadhanam, and the location where the bhoga takes place is bhoga ayatanam. Okay, so we saw that, and we saw how both of them, the sthula sharira and what else? Sukshma sharira, both of them are because of karma. And it's always appropriate. In fact, you cannot have the body of a human being and the mind of a frog. You see, the Sukshma Sharira and the Sthula Sharira have to match one another always. And this is Bhagavat Srishti. They will always match. So if you have a human body and the mind of a frog, then what will happen? The person is attending an important meeting and a fly goes by. That's what they will do. They will put out the tongue and try to swaha it. So this never happens. This is part of the infallible structure of the universe of Bhagavan. And so what do we see here? We see that the bhoga is the appropriate Sthula Sharira along with the appropriate Sukshma Sharira is given as a gift. One is a place where the counter of experiences happen, where the experiences are experiences are, so to speak, it's the receptacle of experience, and the other one is the means through which the experiences are actually experienced. So this is the Sthula Sharira. What is it? Karma Sanchitam. And Sukshma Sharira is also Karma Sanchitam. Why is it not mentioned? Because one is mentioned, the other one it is understood. No need to mention everywhere. So one place it's mentioned, it's understood. So Sukshma Sharira also is a product of karma. So nothing is accidental. Yesterday we saw where you are born, which gender, which and also the numbering, in the pecking order, whether you are the first one, second one, third one, last one, all these things. And it's all not accidental. This is exactly what you ordered. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering something. And then forgetting what you have ordered, and when the food comes, say, I didn't order this. You ordered this. How did I order this? Because of the Purva Vasanas, Purva Ragadveshas. Ours is the only tradition, the Vedic tradition, the Hindu Dharma is the only tradition where the Jiva is not a creation. Jiva is not a creation. Jiva doesn't just mean human beings. Any of these small animals, and starting with a Kita, small little worm, Jiva is not a creation. Why? Jiva is Ishvara. How can it be a creation if it's a creation of Ishvara, if it's already Ishvara? So then what is a creation is the Upadhis. We saw that earlier also. Nana Upadhi Vashat. Because of the various Upadhis, that same Atma, that same consciousness, which is the truth of the Jiva, which is also the truth of what? Ishvara, manifests in various bodies without undergoing any change. Jiva cannot be a creation. Because if Jiva is a creation, then moksha, anirmoksha prasangaha, moksha is not possible. Because Jiva will always have an overlord, and one boss, big boss called Ishvara is sitting there, separate. And so Jiva is not a creation. And so therefore here, this Sukshma Sharira, Sthula Sharira is a part of the co-creation of Jiva and Ishvara. What is Jiva's contribution? Confusion, Ragadvesha, Vasana, sorrow. What is Ishvara's contribution? Namarupa, Namarupa, Satchidananda. Yeah, that is Ishvara's contribution. And so this way the Sukshma Sharira and the Sthula Sharira are formed. What comes next? Karana Sharira, causal body. And which this thing is there? 13. Okay, that's why I am not seeing it. I am on 15. Okay. Anadya Vidya Nirvachya Karanopādhiruchyate Upadhitritayadanyam Atmanam avadharayet. Let's see the last two lines first. Upadhi tritaya. Tritaya means threefold. Upadhi tritayat, fifth case, from the threefold upadhi, bhinnam. Bhinnam means vilakshanam. Vilakshanam means bhinnam. No. Vilakshanam means different. Different from the threefold upadhi, avadharayet, may you ascertain. May the student of Vedanta, the one who is addressed here, may the student of Vedanta, may the person, may the reader, the student ascertain. Ascertain what? The Atma, Atmanam, ascertain the Atma to be bhinnaha, separate, uninvolved. Bhinnaha means asangaha, not coming under the spell of the upadhis. Not coming under the spell of the upadhis, bhinnaha, asangaha, and then iti upadhi tritayat. Tritaya means threefold. So from the threefold upadhis, two of which we have discussed, one of which we have yet to discuss, from these threefold upadhis, please ascertain, may one ascertain the Atma to have nothing to do with the upadhis. This is the last two lines. The first two lines we kind of saw the translation. And what is that? Anadi. Three things define the Karana Sharira. First of all, it is beginningless. What else is beginningless? Atma is beginningless. Very good. Okay, we got that out of the way. What else? In addition to the Atma, what else is beginningless? Very good. Avidya is beginningless. And the Karana Sharira is a manifestation of avidya. So therefore the Karana Sharira is also what? Beginningless. But how is it beginningless? Well, see, the avidya has in a way two forms. One is called Moola Avidya from the Samashti standpoint, in the sense that there is avidya. It is also mithya, it is also anadi, but it is anta. Antavan is, it is got anta, but it is anadi. It just avidya. Here from the Samashti standpoint, what is avidya? Maya Shakti, which for the jiva appears as ajnanam. So this Maya Shakti is beginningless, and then that is called Moola Avidya. It also doesn't come to an end, this Maya Shakti, because it goes into avyakta. And then what does it do? It becomes vyakta again at the next cycle of creation. Avyakta unmanifest, vyakta manifest. So it goes from avyakta to vyakta to avyakta to vyakta. It is always there. It is called Moola Avidya because of its various powers of projection, concealment, etc. And then how this avidya affects the jiva in the form of, I don't know myself, I am troubled, I am agitated because I am taking the first two bodies to be myself. That expression of this avidya in the head of a particular person, whether it's avidya of the world, of the jagat, or whether it is avidya of one's own self, this is called Tula Avidya. Tula Avidya it can be removed. Tula Avidya is removed. How? Atmajnanena. But the Moola Avidya continues. Why? It is necessary for the cycles of creation. To have that is necessary for the cycle of creation. In fact, we should not call it avidya. Here it is called avidya because we are talking of Karana Sharira. Usually we call it avyakta, Maya Shakti. And Bhagavad Gita also talks about it in the 8th chapter. Avyaktat vyaktayas sarvaha prabhavanti aharagame Ratriagame praliyante. Like this, there is a verse in the 8th chapter. So, during the day means day of Brahmaji, from avyakta, everything becomes vyakta. So, it's not that the creation is new, it goes from a state of demanifestation to manifestation, back to demanifestation, and again back to manifestation. This cycle keeps continuing for all the jivas, and the entity which is a mithya entity, non-separate from Bhagavan, Bhagavati, this mithya entity is called what? Maya, dependent on Bhagavan. This Maya Shakti which is responsible for the actual creation of the raw materials, and with that the whole universe keeps coming and going in relation to the cycles of the universe. And so this is called Moola Avidya. And then how that avidya manifests in my body, my mind, not body, my mind, how does it manifest? Kind of intolerant. I don't want to be ignorant. Whether it is about the name of a restaurant or a movie I cannot recall, I get agitated. Or whether it is about Brahma Ajnanam. Ajnanam is intolerable. So on the personal level, whether it is Paravidya Ajnanam or Aparavidya Ajnanam, both are what? Not very tolerable. And so this is often known as Tula Avidya. And so therefore, when you get enlightened, what is gone? Tula Avidya is gone. Moola Avidya, since it is part of the Samashti creative principle, it will continue. Moola Maya, we can say. So for the Jnani, this is very interesting and very important. Usually what do we say? The Jnani has no self-ignorance, yes? So therefore there is no Karana Sharira, yes? No. There is Karana Sharira. But the Karana Sharira is like a toothless baby's mouth. You put your hand and it will go like this. It will bring the gums together, but there is no bite. The Karana Sharira is Badhita for the Jnani. Badhita means as though negated for the Jnani. No, but why should Jnani have Karana Sharira? Jnani has no avidya. Now I am disturbed. Now you are saying Jnani also has Karana Sharira. If Jnani did not have Karana Sharira, she would never be able to go to sleep. Think about this. Because what is Karana Sharira? Where everything avyakta, everything resolves. So for the Jnani also, in the sleep state, what is reigning is Karana Sharira. But the Karana Sharira doesn't have the fuel, the ghee and the pieces of wood of what? Raga, Dvesha, desires and Ajnanam. And so the wood chips of Raga, Dvesha and the ghee of Atma Ajnanam is not there. So one is free to be with Ishvara in the sleep. Karana Sharira, one has resolved into the Karana Sharira even though one has Atma Jnanam, and then one awakens. Back to what? Sthula Sharira. Or one dreams back to Sukshma Sharira. And then after one awakens, after one drops the body as a Jnani, what is called Videha Mukti takes place. The Mukti, the release from the body takes place. And then at that time, the Karana Sharira is resolved. Why? Because the Sthula Sharira is already left. We say the body is right here, it's gone. The person has departed, we say. And the Sukshma Sharira for an Ajnani, what does it do? It becomes a plane and travels. And then what is it that makes it travel? It travels based on the karma. Lots of karma. The karma phala is the fuel for the Sukshma Sharira plane that just takes off. As soon as the person gives up the body, the person takes on a Vasana Shariram, just like even in the dream. In the dream also you take on a dream body. You are there very much. You look more or less the same like you look now. You don't look any different, otherwise it will be very difficult to recognize yourself. Oh, I was a monkey in the dream. Nobody says. I saw a monkey in the dream, you may say, but rarely you will be a monkey in the dream. Usually, in the dream, you will give yourself a Vasana Sharira. Vasana Sharira means a Sharira for which you have a attachment. So, similarly, for who is the passenger in the Sukshma Sharira plane? You with the same kind of a Vasana Sharira, you take on a Sukshma Sharira that more or less, if anybody could see, it would more or less look like how you looked at the time when the body was given up. How the person looked, same way the person will look. And you get into the plane of Karma Phala, and it's not enough to have just the fuel. You also need to bring bags, check-in bags, carry-on bags. And the airlines usually have limits. First bag, in America they really make money of even breathing on the plane. Yeah. First breath $10, second breath $15, like this. That's the only thing left to do. First bag $30, second bag, how much is it? $50. And then some planes, these low budget airlines, they will also say overhead, if you bring a carry-on, another $30 or $10 or something like that. And so there is a new TikTok trend, how to outsmart the airlines. So whether it is summer, winter, autumn or spring, have panchakoshas, 5 big coats with big pockets. And their stash, they show you how to pack. You roll up the t-shirts, and all on one side all the t-shirts, another side pants, And then in the back, your toothbrush and everything, whatever you want to bring, you bring, because they don't weigh the passengers, and if they think you look odd, they are trained not to body shame you, and so they will let you on the plane. Even if you have to enter the plane sideways because this person has got so many things. This is a real TikTok trend. People are trying it and getting away with it. Don't worry, the airline will come down on this also sooner or later. Just like it came down on what is that called? The animals that make you feel good, emotional support animals. So the plane allowed it, the airlines allowed it. Poor thing, he's sad without this dog or cat. Usually they thought a small little puppy or small little kitten, cat, how at the most 5 kilos they will weigh. They would charge extra and keep them in the thing. And then the emotional service animals started to range from lobster. Yeah, 2 big things like this. Emotional support, lobster. And then crab, snake. Yeah. Oh, it's an emotional support snake. Are you Lord Shiva or what? Why you are carrying snake? Snake should be only with Lord Shiva, not you. Silly people. And then all that is, and this one is, and the snake is going from inside, it goes. Yeah, it's going from inside and coming out of this side and all these things. This is all, people send me videos about all this. And then after that, tarantula. Do you know what a tarantula is? Yeah, it is a spider under a microscope. Now, our usual spider under a microscope, the fellow is this big. Yeah. And then one glass box for it, and they would say, I can't be without it. This is my emotional support animal. And then after that, when did they stop? They let everything. They said, okay, it should all be secured. Poor airlines, they allowed it. They drew the line. One day they had to draw a line when a 6-month-old baby alligator on a leash, this man tried to bring. Crocodile, okay, yeah. Says he doesn't bite. Yeah, he doesn't bite you, that's all. Yeah. Other people, has he been around other people? No. Then how do you know he doesn't bite? He's never bit me. Yeah, Alex the alligator. Okay. So then the airlines talk to one another and change the policy. Emotional support animal only means a small dog or a small cat, nothing else. Maybe they allow rabbit, I don't know. But they have streamlined it or 2 or 3 things. Now, in the Sukshma Sharira plane, if you wanted to bring an alligator, sure, no problem. Why, you're the only one on this plane? It's your plane. If you have a tarantula, I want to bring on, what are your rules? No rules. Bring on 10 tarantulas, let them roam freely, no problem. Even though they have poisonous bites, let them roam. And then you say, no, I have one more baggage, I have lot of baggage, pun intended on baggage. I have lot of baggage I have to bring. Baggage means ragadveshas. I like this, I hate this, these are the baggages. How much do you charge for the first bag? 0, free. Sukshma Airlines, okay? And the second one, how much you charge? Free. We are about to take off, seat belt, everything, ready, set. Oh, I have one more baggage. We'll make the plane wait. We'll bring it on, secure it, and then only go. This is the Sukshma Sharira plane, fueled by Karma Phala and filled with Ragadvesha. It travels. For who? Ajnani. Stop 1. Wherever it has done some papa punya, some loka will be there, it will go, it's like a cruise ship, except it's a cruise plane. It will go to various lokas, enjoy the things there, and then after that what? Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam dhadamiti vishanti. Te tam bhuktva, having enjoyed all the lokas on this private jet called Sukshma Sharira, then what happens? The jet, the karma phala, fuel finishes. No, but why didn't it land before that? Well, that's how it is. When did the fuel finish? Just now it finished. Uh-oh. The person comes back to the Martya Loka, the world of mortals. The Jiva comes back. Maybe they were enjoying a Urvashi, Menaka dance duet, heavenly nymphs. In the middle of the concert, one chute opens up underneath. Maybe that's why every newborn baby cries, what did I do? Why am I here? I was taking a selfie with Indra. Click, and then suddenly I'm here, without the selfie even. So, this is for the Ajnani. For the Jnani, what happens to the Sukshma Sharira? It cannot take off. Why? No karma phala. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin brahmani paracha avaracha drishte sati. When you see the cause and the effect in that same Brahman which is free of cause in the cause and the effect, then what happens? The karta is falsified. The karta is as though, everything is as though, so the status of karta is a superimposition upon the Atma, that, and so the karta is as though falsified. If the karta is falsified, then the karma standing in the name of the karta, the doer is also what? Gone. All the karmas are gone. Even prarabdha karma is not there from the jnani's own standpoint. From the standpoint of the others, they say prarabdha, they can see. The jnani doesn't have prarabdha because the jnani is not identified with the body. And since the prarabdha attacks the body, the jnani doesn't have prarabdha. All three karmas are instantly falsified in the wake of this knowledge. And so therefore, the fuel for the plane is not there. It cannot take off. Or maybe it can just drive around like a car. That also cannot happen. Why can't that happen? Because and also there is no baggage, no ragadvesha boxes to be put on the plane, no emotional support needed, so no emotional support animals to be loaded on the plane. So what is there? Nothing is there. Nothing is there. So what happens to the Sukshma Sharira? Tatraiva viliyate. Viliyate means the Sukshma Sharira goes back to the Sukshma elements. What happens to the Sthula Sharira? Exactly happens to the Sukshma Sharira. The Sthula Sharira, the gross body, goes back to the 5 gross elements. The Sukshma body, the subtle body, goes back to the 5 subtle elements. In case of who? Jnani, not Ajnani. Okay, yeah. In case of Jnani, it goes back to the 5 subtle elements, and so then the Karana Sharira was already disabled at the time of knowledge, and so upon the death of the body, the Karana Sharira resolves right then and there, because the Karana Sharira, to fuel the Karana Sharira, what do you need? Atma Ajnanam, which is not there. So the Karana Sharira also dies away, and so Natasya Pranaha Utkramanti. The pranas do not rise again. The prana, there is no cause for another birth. This is the Jnani's life vis-a-vis the 3 Shariras. So then this is the Karana Upadhi. Upadhi, we already saw the definition. Staying near something that which gives or lends its attribute to another thing. What is our stock example for Upadhi? Crystal. Yeah, very good. So this way, the Anadi, Avidya Anirvachya. Three things. Anadi, beginningless. Avidya. Which kind of avidya? The general avidya, avyakta, maya shakti. Anirvachya, we have to see this one very carefully. Anirvachya means neither non-existent nor existent. Hanging in between non-existent and existent like Trishanku. Who is Trishanku? A sage. Sage who had done lot of punya and was going up to heaven. Indra got upset because Indra got jealous or something like that, and he blew down and then sending him back to the earth, but the force of the punya was taking him to heaven, and so equal and opposite forces made him stay somewhere in between. And that because he was an enlightened sage, that itself he made into Swarga, one man Swarga, so it is called Trishanku Swarga. So the whole Jagat is between that which can be put neatly into boxes and between that which cannot be said to exist at all. The whole Jagat and all the Namarupas are teetering like a pendulum between existence and non-existence. This is right in the middle. This is very difficult. But it's very easy on the one hand. It looks difficult, that's all. So what is one example that you can give of something that's in between existence, in between existing and non-existing? Body. Your own body. Start very close, up close and personal. This body, you say, of course it exists. Why? You can see it. I can see it when I stand in front of the mirror. What do you mean it is non-existent? Go to sleep. Don't go to sleep right now. Okay? I don't expect you to be that obedient. So, when you go to sleep, what happens? Nothing. The body can be carried throughout the city, no problem. In a procession, nothing will happen. And the body can be shifted from one house to another, one room to another. This person is what? Unavailable. And sometimes children do this. The girl children do this for the fathers. When the fathers are sleeping, they will take 7, 8 years old, they will take the nail polish and paint red paint on the toes and the fingers of the father. Why do they do it when he is asleep? Because he'll never allow it when he is awake. Daddy, you will like this. It's wonderful. It's the best color. And what is the color? Bright hot pink. Okay. So all the 10 toes and fingers are made into hot pink with a glaze, neon glaze. And what are those things? Sparkles. Yes. Sparkles also inside. Poor daddy. Why doesn't daddy know? Because daddy in the sleep doesn't have a body. Daddy is there, body is not there. So it's very interesting. Yeah. In sleep and in dream, it's a daddy without body. Yes, daddy, but no body. So you see how there is vyabhichara. The body is non-existent, as it were. From the standpoint of the person's experience, there is no body. In sleep, what body is there? The sleep of the princess, you must have heard of that story. This princess could not sleep at all. 9 memory foam mattresses. Memory foam means you put your hand there and it will leave an imprint. Means it is so soft and it molds according to your body. So 9 mattresses like that, and somebody wanted to check. People had a lot of time, okay? So somebody wanted to check if she is really a princess. So underneath the 9th mattress, they put one dried, what is that called? Pea. They put one dried pea. And they were all waiting and watching. Next morning, princess came out in a foul mood and scolded everybody. Terrible. Change all the mattresses. I could not sleep at all. And all the paricharakas, the sevaks, looks at each other very happy. Yes, she is a true royalty. So even the sleep of the princess, the sleep of the king on this kind of a velvet chadar, bed sheet, velvet pillows, memory foam mattress, and the sleep of the beggar on a train bench or a park bench. And purposely they make the park bench with gaps in between so that nobody will sleep. That's the whole purpose. I used to wonder, why can't they just make it comfortable? Because somebody will sleep. They want people to sleep, so there will be some slats there. And so even on that, some poor person, some fellow without a home, will come to hard times, he or she nicely sleeps there. In sleep, maybe up to going to sleep, there is a difference. The Raja will toss and turn among the velvet bed sheets, and then the Ranka, the servant, the beggar, will toss and turn on the uncomfortable slats in the wooden park bench or the roadside bench. But then once they fall asleep, what is the difference between the sleep of the king and the sleep of the beggar? No difference. That's why we say sleep is the greatest leveler. No uccha neecha bheda, there is no up and down, no high and low. And why is that? Because there is no body. There is no body in sleep. So therefore, since there is vyabhichara, the body is experienced in the waking state and to a certain extent in the dream state, I mean in a different form, but not in the sleep state. So that means what? It is in between existence and non-existence. Because in order to understand this phrase, anirvachya, in between existence and non-existence, we have to know what is the definition of existence. Oh, I know, I exist. No, the Shastric definition of existence. Existence means it should fulfill two conditions. Firstly, it should be non-negatable. Abadhitam sat. Existence means sat, which is unfolded in the Chandogya and the Taittiriya Upanishads. Existence is sat, and this existence should be what? Non-negatable. Is the body non-negatable? Make up your mind and then answer, okay? Yeah. Body is negatable. It's not non-negatable. The double negative throws the mind off, okay? So the body is non-negatable. Why? The body is not negatable. The body is not non-negatable. Why? Because in sleep, I am as good as bodiless. No body at all is there in the sleep. And that's why it is said in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad that out of the 72 crore nadis, these invisible meridians, which you cannot see in an autopsy. Somebody cuts the dead body and where are the nadis? You cannot see. They are not veins or arteries. They are meridians, energy meridians. So in sleep state and dream state, one is connected to the body with just one of those meridians. And how big is that meridian? How wide it is? How strong it is? If you split the hair into 1,000 parts, 1,000th part is one of these meridians, all part of the Sukshma Sharira. And so one is hanging by a thread in the dream state and sleep state. That's why there are many rules about waking up the sleeping person, as in not. Don't wake up the sleeping person, and then also how, if you have to wake up, how to wake up. Because they are hanging by a thread, the one may leave the body. So that's why you have to wake them up nicely with nice words, all these things, so that there is no shock. And so like this, in the sleep state, the body is as good as non-existent for the person living in this body. And so therefore, So existence means the first condition of existence, Sat or anything that we call existence, is abadhitam. It should be non-negatable. Yet when we look at everything in the Jagat, from the smallest little thing, microscopic virus, to the biggest huge thing, dinosaur, elephant, etc., what do we see? Everything is negatable, 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 negatable. Nothing is non-negatable except the one who says everything is negatable. That consciousness alone is non-negatable. The Namarupa eminently negatable. So this is the first condition of existence. The second definition of existence according to the Shastra is Trikalepi Tishtati iti Sat. That which is the same, unchanging, avikriyaha, unchanging, nirvikaraha, avikriyaha, unchanging truth, which is the same in all three periods of time. Can you say that about anything in the universe? No? You get banana for prasad. You keep it on your table. You don't feel like eating it that day. You don't eat it. Next day it has got a few more spots. Another vikara has taken place. Third day it has become a home for all those small, small things. Not flies, but what are they called? Fruit flies. Fruit flies. Tiny things. And the fourth day, it loses the ba in the banana. What do you say? Na, I don't want it. No, na. Because it has become as good as compost to nourish another banana tree. Perhaps it can be used, but it cannot be eaten. And so this way, everything is subject to vikara. Even the human body is subject to vikara. And shocking as it may sound, we have all become 1 hour older. Sitting here, every second the aging is taking place. Regardless of whatever potions, creams, whatever you are putting on, it may be making it a little less obvious, but the same thing is happening. Vikara is taking place. And what is that vikara? Apakshaya. The apakshaya vikara, the degradation is taking place, the changes are taking place. Everything in the universe goes through these 6 vikaras in time. Jayate is born, asti survives birth, vardhate grows up, viparinamate blossoms. Up till now it sounds good. After that what? Abhakshiyate. And then finally, Vinashyati, bye-bye. Ram Naam Satya hai for every name and form. You have to have a funeral for every name and form. And so therefore, this is the body, this is all the, not just this body, every Namarupa, every upadhi goes away. Every upadhi goes away. And so, therefore, it cannot be said to be Sat. The second definition clinches it. Trikalepi tishtati, that which is the same in all 3 periods of time, not subject to vikara. What is the first definition? It must never be negated. There is only one thing, and one thing alone that cannot be negated. What is that? You. Don't say Atma, you have to look somewhere then. Yeah. You cannot negate yourself even if you tried. Even if you do japa, because I have to do nididhyasana on what? Non-existence. Let me do nididhyasana on non-existence and let me get into the posture of the meditation. How will you even do nididhyasana on non-existence? What will be your mantra? My mantra is, I am not here. I am not here. Aya namaha. I am not here. I don't have existence, namaha. You can't say that. Who is saying that? The one that is existent. So that which can never be negated is the only one that is Sat, that happens to be yourself. Nothing other than that can be said to be existent. Okay, we'll just be like one of those extreme swamis that are there in Rishikesh. Sab maya hai, sab mithya hai, nothing is there. No jagat, nothing. How long will that last? Until something bites, okay? Yeah. Then you are aware of the body. Things either bite the body, or what else do they bite? They bite the mind, they bite the emotions. So, as soon as something bites, I am aware, ooh, it is existent. You cannot dismiss the world. You can't say this is drishti srishti vada, unless of course you happen to have, what is that called, total cessation of Atmajnanam. Only Jnani can say. Everybody else cannot say. But this is, what is the srishti is just in your drishti. You cannot say that. Why? Because we do say that there are 3 orders of reality. The first order is Paramarthikam Sat. This existence is as though divided into 3 for easy assimilation. One is that which exists absolutely, no question about it, which fulfills these 2 definitions. What is that? Abaditam and avikriyatvam. That which is without vikara, which is the same all the time and which cannot be negated, this is Paramarthikam Sat. Then we have Vyavaharikam Sat. What is Vyavaharika Satta? Vyavaharika Satta is that which is empirical reality. Just what we are talking about. Can neither be negated nor can it be affirmed. It is in between. So you cannot affirm this body, but then even though you say I'm having an out of body experience, suddenly one falls down and then what happens? You are totally in touch with the body. Yeah, then the mind also you can negate, but then as soon as something happens, something disturbing, something joyful, the mind reacts and then you are aware of the mind. So all these in between things come under Vyavaharika Satta. The Vyavaharika Satta is important. I'll tell you why in a second, but it is very important to see this Vyavaharika Satta as Mithya. What is Mithya? Dependent reality. Very good. Mithya also has 2 definitions. Because Sat has 2 definitions. Mithya also has what? 2 definitions. The first definition is Sad Asadbhyam Anirvachya, Anirvachaniya, same thing. That which cannot be categorically said to exist and that which cannot be categorically denied. First existence. First definition. Second definition of Mithya is Adhishthana Ananyat, non-separate from Sat. Yatra yatra mithya, tatra tatra Sat. Wherever there is Mithya, Sat is not far away. Why? Because without Mithya there is no Sat. Sorry, the other way around. Without Sat there is no Mithya. So wherever there is Mithya, there has to be what? Sat. Sat is not far behind. Like you even take this flower. Flower is what? Mithya. So then we ask, what is the flower? Well, where is this flower? How do you know it's Mithya? You just ask a few questions. What is flower? This. You know what is this? Yeah, this is not flower because you just called it what? Petal? Is this flower? No, that's stem. Is this flower in the center? No, that's stamen. What is flower? Everything put together is flower. Pujya Swamiji would take it apart and give it to one person and say, okay, put it together. This is Anirvachya. But yet we say flower is And then supposing the flower loses the petals, does the flower cease to be? No. The withered flower is. Then it dries up. Dried flower is. Then you take it and put it in the rubbish heap. Rubbish heap is. And then it is recycled into compost. Compost is. Another flower bush is. Is never dies. Is Sat. And so what we can say, if we can understand this, the isness of the flower does not belong to the flower. The existence of the flower is what? Brahma Roopam. And what is this flower? Poor flower? Nama Roopatmakam. Asti bhati priyam nama panchaitat. There are 5 components of this whole Jagat. One is Asti, Sat, Bhati, sentience, shines, Chit, Priyam, Ananda. Satchidananda is common for everything, plus Namarupa. Then the writer conveniently says, the first 3 belong to Brahman and the last 2 belong to the Jagat. What are the last 2? Nama Rupa, that's all it is. Nama Rupa, Nama Rupa. The Nama Rupa cannot stand up. In order to stand up, they need the crutches of Satchidananda. That's what they need. Without Satchidananda, no Nama Rupa can exist. Satchidananda exists totally without Nama Rupa. So, yatra yatra mithya, tatra tatra sat. Second definition, adhishthana ananyat. This is vyavaharika satta. Then we have the last order of reality, a kind of a reality. What is that? Pratibhasika. The Pratibhasika is directly dependent on vyavaharika, and of course everything depends on paramarthika anyway. What is Pratibhasika? My own reality, my own subjective reality with which I overlay the vyavaharika, like a person wearing rose-colored glasses thinks everything is pink. Oh, such a lovely Jagat, very pink, nice. Nothing is difficult, everything is so wonderful. And another person may wear dark glasses even at home in the dark and then say, oh my God, I can't see anything, terrible, everything looks dull and grey. This is the Pratibhasikam Jagat. The material for the Pratibhasika is of course from the Vyavaharika. Your own emotional order, your own mental, whatever issues are there, notions, beliefs, etc. They comprise the Pratibhasika, and so therefore there is an offshoot of this reality. So Vyavaharika reality means I see it because it is there. This is Vyavaharika Satta. It is there, therefore I see it. Like even this room, it is here, therefore I see it. But Pratibhasika Satta is what? I see it, therefore it must be there. Do you see the difference? Yeah. I am seeing it. What are you seeing? I am seeing that everybody is disrespecting me. Therefore what? It must be true. Is it true? No. I told you, I don't know if I told you in this course, but some other course I told the story of Pujya Swamiji, how he saved a marriage. 6 months people had been married, these two, husband and wife, and she was sick of him, she was ready to separate. Why are you doing that? He is always making faces at me, Swamiji. What do you mean he is making a face? And just then he did like this. See, he is making a face at me. And then it turned out the poor fellow had allergies. So when you are waiting for a sneeze and it doesn't come, you make a face and you hope it comes. And what did she think? This face, this horrible face, whenever he sees me, he makes a face. And Swamiji said, please take some, what is that called, antihistamine for the next 2 months till the allergy season is there, and then your marriage will be saved. And he used to tell the story. I saved a marriage with the help of an antihistamine tablet. Pratibhasika. Somebody is making a face at me. And another story also. One lady came and told me that I saw my friend in the mall and she didn't recognize me at all. She didn't say hello, she was right there. And she did not even smile. Tomorrow she has kept a potluck, a party at her house. I'm not going to go because how could she disrespect me like that? I thought I was her best friend. How could she do this to me? Terrible. And I told her, I said, are you sure? Because if you are such a good friend, why will she do that? Maybe her mind was preoccupied. Maybe she is having a difficult time. Have you reached out to her? No, I'm never going to call her in my whole life. I knew the other lady too. I knew she was not like that. I said, call her just now. She called. And then she had put on speaker phone and everything. That lady was the one on the other end was so happy. Oh, how nice. I hope you are coming for the party. Showed no this thing. No disrespect, no lack of love. The warmth was just coming out of her voice. This lady was also puzzled then and little mollified and puzzled. And she said, yeah, that day I saw you at the mall. You didn't even this thing. She said, which day? I don't remember. No, day before yesterday. Oh, you know, I've left my contacts at home. I don't even know how I did my shopping. It was difficult. Simple explanation. But Pratibhasika does not allow for the simple explanation. Why? Because of the presence of the unconscious mind, the Pratibhasika will look for the most complex explanation, which will keep on rehearsing the inner pains and sorrows. That is what it will look for. It will not look for the most simple, direct explanation. It will not give the benefit of doubt even to the most trusted friend. This is Pratibhasika. So until and unless the Pratibhasika has to be resolved, is resolved into Vyavaharika, then you are firmly in Vyavaharika. Vyavaharika Satta is harmless. Why? Because you recognize everything as Ishvara. Namarupa plus Ishvara, that's all it is. Ishvara itself is Namarupa, no problem. The Namarupa resolves in Ishvara. And so, as long as the Pratibhasika is not resolved, the Vyavaharika will be a terrible place to live. And the Paramarthika will say, I am packing my bags, bye-bye moksha. That's all it will do. So therefore, what do you have to do? Resolve the Pratibhasika into where? Vyavaharika. You can't go straight to Paramarthika. Just like from Tamas, you can't go straight to Sattva. You have to become a little Rajasic and then reach Sattva. So similarly from Pratibhasika, which is way far gone from reality, you have to at least come to a grounded empirical reality, see that as Bhagavan, and then only understand yourself as Paramarthikam Sat. From Pratibhasika, if you keep saying there is no Jagat, there is no this thing, there will be dissociation. There will not be a healing. So therefore we have 3 orders of reality, and what is in the middle is Pratibhasika, Vyavaharika, and it is what? Anirvachya. Anirvachya. Cannot be said to exist, cannot be said to not exist. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.